Let's talk about why your inventory strategy is costing you a ton of money. So my name's Alex Andreas. I had the opportunity to be part of Morgado Automotive Group. I was a chief operating officer and a partner over the last 25 years, and we grew to 29 dealerships in 5 states, and I recently retired. And one of the things that I've realized that I've missed the most is talking to our general managers and having conversations. But the other day, I was fortunate to have a conversation with a friend, not from Morgado Automotive Group. He's a GM at a dealership, and we were talking about floor plan interest and how to make the most of it and reduce costs. And it really made me think that you can focus on floor plan interest and what your bank's charging you and try and negotiate that. But really, the bigger focus is your strategy in new car inventory. Most GMs take a look at new car inventory and they say, all right, well, I need to maintain a 60-day supply or a 45-day supply and call it a day. And that's just looking at it from a 35,000 foot level and not getting granular into the inventory, not spending the time. And I think a lot of that comes from not wanting to invest the time and sometimes not even understanding how to dig into it a little bit further. So one of the things I used to go over with all of our GMs was breaking down the inventory a lot further. So if you're going to have an amount of inventory that you want to have, then how do you break that out? And the first way you got to do it is break it down by model. We can take an example of let's take a GMC dealership. So GMC's got a bunch of different models. You can easily just say 60 days supply, but you could be heavy on GMC Sierras. They could be at a 70-day supply, and Acadias are down at a 20-day supply, and Terrains are at a 30-day supply, and that's not going to be the best way to manage your inventory. If you do it that way, it's going to create a lot of other issues for you. You're going to have to spend more money on marketing to go out and push that inventory because you're heavy on one model, like Sierra. You're going to have to be more aggressive with pricing, and you're probably heavy on that model because you've got the wrong mix, right? And people aren't calling you, and you're not selling the ones that you have. So how do you fix it? Well, you have to come up with a plan, and the plan has to start with a detail of what you want to stock. So going on with that GMC Sierra example or GMC dealership example, you want to break out your models first. So you've got Sierra, Terrain, Acadia. I don't know what other models we've got in GMC, but let's just take those 3 models, right? So what would be a day supply that you want in GMC Sierra? So let's assume it's going to be a 60-day supply. So what does your 60-day travel rate look like? And let's call it 40 units for 60 days in order to get to that 60-day supply. So now how do you want to break that down? First, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, what market are you in? What are you going to go heavy? Maybe 100% 2-wheel drive, 100% 4-wheel drive. All depends where you're at, but let's assume that we're just sticking a 2-wheel drive market and we're going to go 100% 2-wheel drive on GMC Sierra. Then the next question is cab, crew cab, extended cab, or double cab, regular cab. What's that breakout going to be? 50%, 40%, 10%, 70%, 20%, 10%. So let's assume it's 70% crew, 20% double cab, and 10% regular cab. So then let's continue to break that down. So if we're going to break that down and we're 40-day travel rate, 10% of that is going to be, they're all 2-wheel drive, 10% of that is going to be regular cab. That's 4 regular cabs that you need to have in stock and in the pipeline. So what are those 4 going to look like? What do you do? Are they all going to be white? Are they all going to be 6 cylinders? What's the price point that you're going to hit? What are the wheels that you're going to hit? Because too many times you have an inventory manager or somebody ordering cars and they're not paying attention to that. And you might end up with 4 regular cabs that are all priced differently, have equipment that doesn't really make sense. And so what you want is what's going to move the fastest and what's going to create that pull from your inventory rather than you having to push it out there and force people to go go buy it, right? And force is a strong word, but you know what I mean. You're gonna have to go market it and spiff your guys and reduce the price and probably not make a lot of money off of those deals. So give that person the structure, and quite frankly, if you have the time, I'd order the cars myself as a general manager. That's what I did when I was younger in my career, because I thought it was that important, and I wanted to invest the time ahead of time, right? And so I wanted to front load the time. I wanted to say, all right, I'd rather invest an hour or two each week in ordering my inventory so that I can make the rest of my month that much easier, so that I wouldn't have to market as hard. I'd have the right cars, the right inventory mix. I'd create that pull because people were calling me and coming in wanting to get the vehicles that I had because I configured them the right way. And I made it easier for my sales staff because I didn't have 20 different configurations out there. I made it easy for somebody to step up in trim levels or price points when they were looking at pickup trucks, Sierra pickup trucks, or Enclaves, or Pontiac Aztecs we had back then. So whatever it might be, create that format. So going back to the Sierra example, for Sierra regular cabs, let's assume they're all going to be white, all base cloth interior, bench, and two-wheel drive, six-cylinder, no frills truck at a certain price point. So that's what you want to make sure you get. And then take that same example to double cab or crew cab, right? So let's go to crew cab, where we're going to have a little bit more, right? So we said 70% of that inventory is going to be crew cab. So at what price point do you want that 70% to be, right? So 70% of 40 cars, 30% would be what, 12? So you're talking about 28 crew cabs that you have. So how many are going to be at a entry-level price point? I think GMC's got an Elevation Edition, then an SLE, SLT, Denali, Denali Ultimate. So you're going to have all those different packages. Well, how much do you want of each, right? And so you're obviously going to look at what you're selling, what works well in your market, what the district is selling. And so you've got to do some research to see what's out there and what's moving quickly. There's certain applications out there like vAuto's Conquest that can give you some of that data and give you some competitive landscape to see what it is that's selling out there, because you want to have some information, right? You're about to go spend millions and millions of dollars buying cars. You need to invest the time, right? You wouldn't go buy stocks just to say, hey, I'm going to go buy some stocks and just say, all right, I'm going to go pick a handful of stocks, right? I want a computer stock or an AI stock. I want an oil stock. I want a, agricultural stock. And I'm just going to go and buy all these different stocks and not do any research on the companies or what they've been earning or what their dividends are. I want to go and dig into what's performing and buy what's performing. So do the same thing with your inventory. Take your time, sit down, create a template of what it is that you want to stock. It's never going to be perfect. You're going to have constraints from the manufacturer. You're going to have delays on shipments that are coming in. You can't control the timing, but at least you can put the effort in to make sure that you're trying to start off with the best possible inventory to have the best possible result for yourself in the future. And if you can do that, then you can have a faster turn in your inventory. You're going to lower your overall inventory balance, and that's going to save you a ton of money on floor plan interest and help you reduce your overall expense directly through floor plan. But you're also going to reduce your expense on marketing, because now you don't have to market it as much. You're going to reduce your expense on spiffs, because you're not going to have to pay spiffs or incentives out to your employees as much, and you're going to make more gross because you're going to have the cars that everybody wants, and you're not going to have to discount them as much in order to get those cars off your lot. So I hope this helped you out. I miss talking to our GM, so this is my way of having at least a one-sided conversation with everybody out there and share some of what I've learned over the last 25 years. Hope you liked it.